Hi everybody, welcome to this Expert Division qualifying round video guide for the US Open 18-hole Cup. Brand new course, that is Oakmont in the game of Golf Clash. These are the qualifying round wins, but you will be able to tweak, I hope, and at least base some of the approaches for your final round as well. Please hit thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're playing Master as well, head over to our Master video. We've got a qualifying round win guide there as well. With free entry, means the brackets are easier. Free to play balls here. Timestamps in the video description down below. Remember to tweak according to your clubs, balls and play style as well, of course, of any changes in wind angle you may get in tournament play. Good luck, here we go. With this wind angle being predominantly tailwind, we can send it to green with a berserker. We're going to set up at P10 max rest with APOC 5 and 6, the blue ring touching the rough on the left. Obviously different levels of APOC will have different ring references. APOC 4, you'd have to stretch out a couple of rings into OP and then of course push up those rings after you adjust. We're going with 5.8 top spin, no side spin, and we're going to make our adjustment, which is maximum distance with 0 elevation. And because we're using a power 10 ball, we're going to use power 10 numbers in our wind app. You see here I have to zoom in to get rid of the trees out of my view, so adjust 5 rings first and then the remaining rings after that. And those pulls are both to the bullseye. You should try and do the same. Then it is time to take our shot. We go with full overpower and no curl. It is a slightly slower needle with APOC 5+, so a decent chance of hitting perfect. This ball will then bounce very nicely in the middle of the fairway, and the top spin and the tailwind angle takes us beyond the bunker and approaching the green for an EB school wedge. If you've got more top spin, by all means, use it. This short par 4 will require you in most brackets to get to green and secure the eagle in all wind angles. In this slight tailwind angle we can use a kingmaker. In headwind though, a luminary or a higher power ball would be necessary. We're going to play with 0.4 backspin and 3 bars of left spin here. And I'm setting up as shown with Apocalypse level 5 and 6 at the top of +8 yards. And you could see the ring references there. Make sure to convert your starting plus yards and ring references if you are using a different driver. This one plays uphill, so we're going to go max -15% elevation, power 6 numbers, and we're playing without a wall curl to the left. Full overpower, it's a slightly shaky needle. Of course, if you then switch to a higher power ball, you will have a slower needle, but we're getting down to fringe for an easy wedge. With the tailwind here, we can actually drive ourselves to wedge range with a Titan. We're going with the red ring touching the rough on the right, APOC 5 and 6 at P6 max rest. I'm going with 6 top spin and half a bar of left spin. Extra mile 8 would be fine here. You would need to push up a few yards after your setup and adjustment though. But if you've got more top spin available, by all means use it. You could also try extra mile 9 here as well. But at the moment I've just gone with APOC 5 and above. Adjustment is max +0, power 6, full overpower. It's a slow needle. You can, if you don't have any extra top spin available, push up a few rings to get closer to the green, but I was still within wedge range here and Embringer School was working nicely for me. Obviously you can also go with a higher power ball to push the ball down there even further. There's plenty more distance you can get off this one, but either way it's an easy wedge. Par 5 here, and you need to take care on both the drive and the approach to give yourselves a good chance to drop this shot. We're going with APOC 5 and above, 4 top spin and 3 right spin. It's top of +10, red ring touching the rough. You can actually play this with APOC 4. You can also play this with extra mile 8 and maybe even 7 as well. Obviously you would have different ring references and starting plus yards. But keeping it simple for the APOC players here, APOC 5 and 6, adjust max +0, and then we're going to go with 0.9 ball curl to the right, and I'm going with just before circle drop overpower. And we want to swing this ball round the fairway in between where the bunker juts out from the left-hand side to the right, and just park up in the middle of the fairway there at that narrower area. Drive distance around 356. Now you can see here we're going to be in wood club range, but it's a bit bumpy, so we've got to find a decent landing spot. I'm pushing up rings from min, so I've got room to adjust Then I'm going to add my spin. You're always going to need left spin here. I would only play this ball with a side spin 6+ ball. I'm going with 4 back spin and left spin as needed to line the ball guide up with the hole. You might need to zoom in so you can see the ball guide and the pin, as well as, of course, your spin box. So here it's just before 2.5 bars of left spin, but it will depend on your wind angle and where you finish up with your drive on this hole. Leaving the ball guide short, and we're playing rings from min. I pushed up about 8 rings, so it's going to be approximately 20% on the slider. Instead of playing 10%, which I did in the video, I would recommend you play this with 5% elevation. But again, this is only a guide, and the setup will vary dramatically based on the wind angle here. The terrain is very bumpy and the hole is tricky. So if you can dial this one in, then it's going to be an absolute boost to your scorecard. Perfect ball away, the spin grabs nicely, but like I say, just misadjusted, but a tweak, and you should drop this one. If you're feeling brave in tailwind, you could have a go at blasting this down to the green, but that fairway is by no means flat, so I'm going to suggest a layup in all wind angles. In this crosswind angle, we're playing with the quarterback, 3 top spin and 2 right spin, white ring touching the rough on the right at the top of +10. We're then going to adjust maximum distance, 0 elevation, but I'm using power 0 numbers. Okay, so it's less than usual. That's because this shot does play slightly uphill. I'm playing with power 6 numbers, and any more elevation was over adjusted. So max +0, power 0 settings with the quarterback, centre the ball and hit perfect. This is going to set us up very nicely for a rough bump. A backspin approach with our short iron. You can see here, taking the slope down the fairway, it's curving to the right. That's going to be absolutely fine. Now on the approach here, you are going to see me move around a little bit to try and see if you can see the funnel with the ball guide. Unfortunately, it doesn't present itself very obviously at all with the Thorn level 9, but I'm playing with 2 bars of backspin and aiming deliberately right of the pin. You can see that second bounce on the green square dividing line to the right of the pin. Now that's because the green slopes down from the fringe on the right down to the pin, and there's kind of a mini funnel down here, but you've got to try and take a practice or token or two to find it. I'm playing true club distance here, and I estimate this to be 75% of my club distance, 20% elevation. Small tweak needed in this wind angle, a little bit of curl, a couple of clicks of left curl, and we'd have got that one in. But that's my recommendation. If you are with us as a free Patreon member, you will be sent out these companion sheets. We've got the general elevations for the holes used in the tournament, and also our tournament note sheets. Divided into 9 segments, you can write in your elevations and adjustments as you go throughout the week. And if you want even more perks, you can join us as a paid member over there on our Patreon as well. Link in the description down below. Got close on this par 3, but it's a very tough hole and we'll need a lot of tweaks depending on your wind angle. We're going to start with a basic ball and add our spin. We're going with 8 bars of backspin, and then we swap to a kingmaker. The reason I do that is so that I don't inadvertently add any hidden or one click either way of side spin. Once we've done that, it's time to find our landing position. We're going to have the first bounce where the fringe meets the green, and the second bounce at the corner of the green square. You can see it is just over 2 full green squares right of the pin and around 1 green square high. Pause the video and make some notes. There will be a small tweak needed here because this is a close miss in the video, but it is something to build on and work from. Playing with the Guardian, and we're adjusting mid +20, power 6 numbers, and then don't forget to do this last bit because it is important. We are going just at the point where the circle drops as our overpower reference. So circle drop overpower, that is to combat the headwind that we have, bouncing on the fringe, and the spin grabs just missing this one slightly high and left of the pin. On the drive on this par 4, we're going to bounce over and set up for a rough bump, but bear in mind the fairway is not entirely flat, so you need to adjust accurately and set up in the right point so that you don't get a weird bounce. We're going with 5.8 top spin and 3 left spin. I'm at +5 with APOC 5 and 6, and I'm aiming on the flat part in the middle of that fairway, just before the mound on the left and the right. You can see if you aim further up, you're going to catch an uphill slope, and you're going to lose distance on the shot because of the high bounce. So it's all about finding the fine details here on this drive. Maximum distance -10 because we are playing uphill, and then I'm going with a little bit of overpower and half a ball of curl to the left. You will need to take some tokens, get something dialed in different wind angles here. This is going to be a really sensitive hole where the details are crucial to get consistency, not just on the drive but also the approach. Drive distance 365. Second shot, I'm making a sand check here with my bullseye +2 at the top of the bunker in line with the pin, and then I'm going to go for a rough bump. Very close on this one, and I'm going to give you a tweak based on my miss in the video. Max topspin with the thorn, and we're going to aim with the top of the yellow ring touching the rough and the ball guide going just through the hole, favouring the right side of the cup. And the reason I aim like this is because we're going to adjust slightly down the slope and lose distance. For a +2 sand check, this is a tweaked adjustment. Based on the miss in the video, I would like you to play 14% slider, 0 elevation. Now you can play this one in tailwind and headwind as well, but you would need to compensate accordingly with your setup points, because you're going to pull either onto the green or further down the slope and lose distance in that case. So it is one where some tokens are needed. Perfect ball away. I do like the rough bump approach though. Small tweak and you should get in for your eagle on this tough par 4. I got very close on this par 3, but a small tweak needed to the aim to get this one to drop, but shouldn't be too hard to do. We're going with 2.9 backspin and 1 bar side spin to the left, and we're playing comfortably in mid-distance of our sniper. Aiming on that nice flat part of the fairway, and I'll give you a little zoom in on the ball guide here, but we're wanting the ball guide to be short of the pin, and I just favour the right edge of the pin here. It's short by about 1 green square, but you will need to tweak the aim according to how much I missed on the video, and I believe I missed this slightly to the left hand side, so I would tweak the aim either to the right, or you can put a personal tweak in and correct with an adjustment or a minor pull angle variance, but obviously the aim point is the simplest thing to tweak. Adjusting mid +10 power 0 numbers, and we're going just before circle break under power because of the tailwind angle. It's bouncing where we aim, second bounce just past the fringe, but we're just missing on the left hand side, but a very nice speed indeed on this par 3. We have a nice tailwind angle here on this hole, so we're going to drive to green with a berserker. Now I've actually got the Oakmont golden shot ball here, but the wind range I've given here is still absolutely in mid range of the berserker, so it doesn't matter if you don't have that ball, but if you wanted to use one, then you want the wind push and it will give you a bit more than a berserker. It's obviously up to you, get a bit of precision as well. So we're at P10 max rest, red ring touching the rough with APOC 5 and 6, and then I'm adding my spin. 5.8 top spin and 1 bar side spin to the right. Then I adjust max +0, power 10 numbers, and with APOC 5 and 6, I'm then pushing up 3 rings. That is equivalent to 10 yards if you have different club accuracy. Then it's full overpower. It's a little bit shaky, which is why the precision 2 comes in handy, but I think there is room for a single great left and right with this large fairway. We catch the bounce very nicely, and we just trickle down onto the green, and the slope on that green, even though it's huge, is going to funnel us down very nicely, and we will have an easy putt for our drop here on this nice tailwind angle. If you're stepping up as part of the free entry here on this tournament, check out our Master Tournament Wind Guide as well. That also will be on as soon as the tournament begins on Tuesday morning, and it features free-to-play balls only. Remember, as it's a free entry tournament, easier brackets, better chances to win great prizes for this event. With this wind angle, I'm actually going to go with a Titan because we can use an extra bit of wind push to get us down to wedge range. We're setting up with APOC 5 and above, top of +10, bullseye in the middle of the fairway. APOC 4, you'll be at P6 max rest. Then we're adding 5.8 top spin, 2 bars side spin to the left. You'll see the second bounce with spin added. It's just beyond the rough, past the ditch there in the middle of the 2 sections of fairway. Once we've done all that, time to adjust, and we're going max plus 10. Max plus 10, power 6 numbers. And then after we've done that, we leave the target where it is. We're going to go full overpower. It's not really much of a shaky needle with APOC 5 plus. APOC 4 might be a bit of a shake on it, but you've got a great ball either side, I would hope, although that's untested from me. But full overpower, no curl, hit perfect, and we're getting this one down to wedge range. You're going to play Embringer School. If you've got more topspin, then by all means use it. I'm going to show you a very risky option on this short par 4 to get to wedge range in that narrow area of fairway. But like I said, it is not without risk. You'll have to see if this is for you or not. 4 top spin, 3 left spin, P6 max rest with APOC 5 and above, aiming there with APOC 5 and 6, the white ring touching the rough. The fairway is a little bit bumpy where we're landing here though, and you've got to be careful with your adjustment. Max minus 15, this is dramatically uphill. We're playing circle break overpower. I would add a few clicks of left curl because I am a bit close to the rough up ahead. If you don't fancy this one, lay up on the right hand side over the ditch and then play over that deep bunker there. But all going well, you'll have an easy wedge. A long and tough par 5 here. You're going to see me use a precision ball on the approach. I was getting a load of great balls, but don't worry, you can still play this with a Kingmaker. We're setting up here at NMT with a power 6 ball. We're going 5.8 topspin and 2 bars side spin to the left. Then we adjust our rings. We're going maximum distance, no elevation. We are going to get this ball into sniper range, so there's no need for anything other than the sniper here. So max plus 0, and then we're going without a wall curl to the right, just before circle drop overpower. Make sure you replicate all the steps to get a consistent drive distance here. Even though we've got tailwind, we want to try and be as accurate as possible. Bouncing on the middle of the fairway there, and then we're rolling down nicely. And we've still got a way to go, but we'll be fine with our sniper at a drive distance of 386 yards. Second shot, like I say, ignore the precision. This will be absolutely fine with a regular Kingmaker. We are going with 4.2 backspin and around 2.5 bars side spin to the left. What I'm looking for here is to have the ball guide offset short and right of the pin. As shown, the second bounce will be just before the fringe. You might need to vary the spins depending on the outcome of your drive, but I'm setting up at max distance of my sniper. So if you get a different rollout on your drive, or you've hit a minor great left or right, you will need to vary the spins as long as you set up at max with your sniper and replicate the ball guide as best as you can. I needed to aim a little bit to the left here. This shot misses just the right edge of the cup. You could tweak it with a few clicks of left curl, but the aim would be a good thing to tweak. The adjustment is max plus 15. Almost got a hole in one here with the Grizzly. Just needed to add a couple of clicks of right curl, so bear that one in mind when you play this hole in this wind angle. Going with the Grizzly, 4 backspin and 1 left spin. And then what I'm looking for here is the tip of the ball guide as my reference. And you can see there, pointing at the pin, vertically level with the pin there if you're drawing a straight line up, but it is stopping about 1 cup short of the pin. So pause the video, make some notes, get a little image there in the back of your mind when you come to play this one. We're adjusting mid plus 5, and we're going with power 6 numbers. Now if you've got the Grizzly 7 or 8, I want you to have Grizzly 9 numbers in your app, otherwise you will be misadjusting this shot. So mid plus 5, power 6, Grizzly 9 numbers in this wind angle. Just needed a couple of clicks of right curl. In fact, you could see there I had a click of left curl inadvertently there. It tells you how important it is to centre the ball. So correct that one and you should get in for the hole in one. This is a tricky hole. I'm going to lay up and go for the short iron, playing rings from min. If you want to try and get down to that small area of fairway where there's a bottleneck to the green, you can for wedge range, but it is risky because you've got the rough on the left and the bunker on the right as well. Going with 5.8 top spin, 1 left spin here. Now, I actually over adjust this drive. I'm absolutely fine, but if I was to do this shot again, I'd actually aim with different spin, go with another bar of left spin and play minus 10 elevation instead, just looking at where my aim point was and where my first bounce actually was when I took the shot. So general elevation here, I'd say minus 10 In the video I go with max plus 0, so if you get this wind angle you can replicate, or you can either tweak and go with -10 and play more left spin to compensate. But either way, we're laying up fine here. You can see the fairway is pretty bumpy and there's an uphill slope there, but we pull up before the bunker around 337 yards. Second shot, the green is lovely and smooth, so we're going to play a rings from min shot, finding the min line and pushing up to have the ball guide just through the hole, and then I offset to go on the left side of the cut because the wind angle is coming in from left to right and it's slight headwind, which is why I'm having the tip of the ball guide just through the hole before, of course, I do the offset. And no spin shot here, so nice and straightforward. Then we're playing 1% slider for every ring up from min. So if you push up 4 rings, you're going to play 4% slider, and I'm playing 5% elevation in this wind angle. You can see it is a little bit downhill, just from that camera view there. Pulling over the bullseye, centre the ball and hit perfect. So you can blast it if you want, but me, I'd favour the short iron because it's less risky and a decent chance to drop your eagle. Tailwind on this one means we can blast near to green, hopefully get ourselves into a nice easy wedge range. We're going with the extra mile 9 and we're at P10 max stretch with half of the red ring falling down into the bunker on the left. We are adding max top spin with the extra mile 9, that is 7.7 bars, no side spin, and then we are going to adjust max plus 0, power 10 numbers. Now clearly the extra mile 9 is not a very accurate club, so try and hit perfect with this one. If you have APOC 7 plus, after you've done all the steps here, you can then switch. After you've done your push-up, you can switch to APOC. Will be much more accurate, you'll have a slightly slower needle. Now with the extra mile 9, after we've adjusted, I'm going to do a small push-up here. It does help, and I'm pushing up, you can see 4 yards or 1 ring. If you want to get closer to green, push up more, but it's entirely up to you. Half wall curl to the right, full over power. It's going to be a little bit shaky on the needle, so try and hit perfect. And you'll see here we're going to get approaching the green, not quite on the green though. Great left will find the bunker. You want to push up more, you will hopefully go on the green for a putt. This par 3 is all about finding the funnel with our sniper. You don't need a precision ball, regular Kingmaker will be fine. You can see I'm having the red ring touching the rough and I'm moving left and right horizontally and finding the middle of that funnel where the tip of the ball guide isn't moving. Then I'm going to apply spin, and we're going with just over 1 bar of backspin and a few clicks of left spin to have the tip of the ball guide inside that lighter green square column, and it is going to be high of the pin as shown because there is headwind angle here which is going to compress the ball guide that you see on the screen. We're then going to adjust sniper 10 numbers here, mid distance, 5% elevation, power 6 settings, so make sure you've got your app set up and ready to go. So mid plus 5, power 6, and then we're going to try and centre the ball as best we can and hit perfect here, which we do. And you'll see here the ball catches the rough very nicely and it kills the speed of the ball, finding the funnel, dropping it right at pin for the hole-in-one. Do not underestimate the difficulty of this par 4. It looks like there are some easy aggressive shots to green, but they're actually very tricky indeed. You can very easily find the rough or the sand. I'm going to suggest you lay up with the quarterback instead. White ring touching the rough on the left at P6 max rest, half a bar of backspin, 3 bars of left spin in this wind angle, but basically I want to approach the end of this fairway before it curls dramatically round to the left, and it's going to get you into wedge range. Max minus 10, it is an uphill shot here and we're going with half a ball of curl to the left. Hitting perfect, you don't need to use a precision ball, it was just helping me speed up the content creation process. Could maybe have pushed it a little bit further, but we don't want to risk any glitch rolls, so around 290 to 295 is absolutely fine. Wedge here, going to play Endbringer School. I estimate this to be a 97 or 98% slider. This is going to be into direct tailwind though, so I am going to use a little bit of backspin rather than the normal no spin method to check this ball up. Ball guide just before the hole, otherwise you're going to come in way too hot with the speed. And in its usual Endbringer School, 20% elevation. If you're not familiar with the method, we've got a tutorial video. You can learn it in about 5 minutes. check out the Academy tutorial playlist on the channel homepage. Loads more there as well. Rings from min, slider percentages, reference checks, overpower and curl references, all part of tournament play. Centre the ball low once you've made your adjustment here, and you've got a very good chance without really any risk on this tough par 4. If you are enjoying the free content here on the channel and want to help out and keep everything free, then please consider making a small donation. All donations are gratefully received and help me out here on the channel, as all of the content here is produced for free in my own spare time. You can do that in one of 3 ways. You can hit the thanks button here on YouTube, you can make a PayPal donation via the link in the description down below, or you can also join us over on Patreon. Details at the end of the video. A long and by no means flat par 4 to deal with here. We are going to lay up in crosswind. You can blast it in tailwind if you want, but there's a load of hazards that will get in your way from reaching the green, so layup is favoured for me. 5.8 top spin, half a bar of right spin, aiming at +4 with the target in the middle of the fairway between the rough on the left and right with APOC 5 and 6. That will be +10 with APOC level 4. You can also play this with extra mile 8+ or Thor's hammer, but you will have different start points and ring references. Focus on the ball guide after spin if you're using different clubs or club levels. Max +0, going with circle drop overpower just to get a few more yards out of this one. And we're hitting perfect, bouncing in the middle of the fairway and rolling up here. It's a slope towards that bunker, so unless you're dramatically off on your drive, you're not going to fall in the bunker. And we're going to have a grizzly shot. Now I'm doing a pin check for a reference point +2, and I would recommend you're going to play this one 20% on the slider, but instead of 5% elevation as I did in the video, I'd like you to play 0 elevation. We're going with 2 backspin, and the key on this hole is to find a consistent landing position. You can see there are some bumps before the green there, so move your target around, look at the ball guide and try and find a consistent point. To add to the difficulty, this green is also not flat, but it is a very nice challenge, and an eagle here is going to feel like a great bonus drop indeed. So 20% slider on this one. However, instead of 5% elevation, I'd play this one 0 in this wind angle, and obviously in different wind angles you would need to just tweak your spin slightly to compensate for the different wind push. Centering the ball, hitting perfect. You're going to see this one just miss on the right hand side. It is only slightly over adjusted, hence the different elevation, but you can see there on the camera there's a lot of bumps to contend with. This is a very tough par 4. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.